Namaskar. Welcome to Prakash on Basics. We are talking of the Jnana Kand since last time. Upanishads form the concluding part of Jnana Kand, the end, and therefore Vedanta, end of Vedas. That's what the word means. Uh, it's not just the cornerstone of Indian philosophy, but in reality the core of Indian philosophy. There were many rishis and gurus capable of thinking far beyond the aranyaks that we talked of last time. They were capable of abstract thinking, of logical interpretations, capable of analyzing and extrapolating many of the concepts that were introduced in the aranyaks. And there were a lot of fundamental questions that were being raised even then. The top gurus and masters, the rishis, came up with more fundamental and radical concepts as part of the answers. They were among the best of the philosophical thoughts that could be put forward. Thinking ability rises, and this results into having new and more difficult questions of higher level in front of you. And the level of questions raises your ability to think more. It's a closed loop. In electronics, this is known as positive feedback. And here, positive feedback is pretty good. Many of the questions that arose were who am I? What am I? Why was I created? What is the final objective that I have in front of me? Who created the universe? Is that created the Brahma? Why was the universe created? This and many more related questions kept cropping up. Different thinkers, different rishis naturally found different answers and different solutions. That depended upon their individual philosophies and convictions, the Vedas that they followed. But the basic idea was simple: look inwards and understand yourself. Understand yourself as Jiva, the life form. Concentrate, think a little more, and realize that you are Atma or Atman, the soul. And then look outwards, bigger picture. Understand first that there are many gods, then there is a single God. Still higher, Parameshwar, the universal God. Analyze and think, rationalize a little more, and realize Brahma, the ultimate reality. There are other questions too. What is death? What is moksha or salvation? How are Atma and Brahma, Jeev and Parameshwar related to each other? Establish the relationship between the microscopic Atman and the supracosmic Brahma. If you find them to be the same, you land up with the Advaita philosophy. If you justify that they are different, you follow the Dvaita or the dual philosophy. And if you feel that sometimes they are the same and sometimes they are different, you reach the Dvaita Dvaita philosophy. There are others too. Many such philosophies evolved as an outcome of answers to many of these questions. Brahma, what is it? What is its nature? What is its expanse? What are its characteristics? These were primary questions. And the primary objective of Upanishads is trying to achieve Brahma Vidya, the knowledge about Brahma, understanding Brahma, and trying to find a path to reach this goal, the ultimate entity. The method is also given in the Upanishads. The outcome of all this was development of many ideas like the Atma, Brahma, Maya, Parameshwar, Satya, Mithya, Trigun, Sagun, Nirgun, and many more. I'll be talking of many of them, simplifying them as I proceed. Um, these new concepts were all compiled in the final part of Vedas, which we call as the Upanishads, the end of the Vedas, that is the Vedanta. But the meaning Upanishad itself is many a times mentioned as to sit at the feet of the Guru and receive knowledge, obviously by the disciple or the Shishya. But the true meaning is much more than what I have just mentioned and which is commonly talked of. If you break the word down into its three parts, Upa, Ni, and Sad, actually the word Sad comes from a root Sadrul, but let's keep it as simple Sad. Then what you get is the word Upanishad. Break it down again. Upa means below, but it also means subordinate. It's like vice president, which is talked of as Uparashtrapati or Upadhyaksha. There is another similar word, Upendra. Here, realize that Upa implies it is the penultimate step. So, a person capable of reaching the topmost point, but just subordinate, capable of taking over whenever possible. So, that is the penultimate level at which you must be in order to gain the final knowledge. The second part of the word is ni, which means nishchayena, which is with determination, with only one objective, and to stick to it undeterred. That is what nishchayena means. Shankaracharya gives three meanings of the last part sad. Sad means gati, which is to achieve or recognize something. Here, obviously, the Brahma, or to achieve Brahmadnyan, the knowledge of Brahma. It also means gati as progress in good deeds. It also means visharan, which means elimination of whatever is unimportant. All wrong karmas are to be eliminated. And the third meaning is avasadhan, slackening of all bonds, all attachments, all involvements, so that you are free to contemplate and reach the final objective, understanding the Brahma, understanding the path to moksha. Realize that Upanishads were designed by rishis who were in their stage of being in the sannyasa ashram. So the Upanishads are designed by and for the sannyasis. But here, let's not restrict it by age. A sannyasi is the one who has crossed all the levels of karmakand and is now capable of thinking and meditating at higher levels. And that's what is the stage where Upanishads are to be looked into. With so many contributors, it was quite natural that there would be varied approach to the answers. It would also result into a number of Upanishads. The number of Upanishads is fairly large. It is said to be around 250 plus, and there are some references saying that they are 1180 plus, according to some people. Let's come to the realistic 250 plus number. There's a text, it's known as the Muktika text or the Muktikopanishad. It lists 108 of such Upanishads. And using this reference, usually these are the 108 that are usually studied and treated as the more important ones. With so many of them, studying all of them is pretty difficult. So there has to be a categorization. Each Upanishad basically is attached to one specific Ved. The Rigved has 10, the Krishna Yajurved has 32, the Shukla Yajurved has 19, the Samved has 16, the Atharva Ved has 31. So 10, 32, 19, 16, 31. That makes it a total of 108. The ones that I talked of in terms of numbers just prior. Then Shankaracharya ji wrote commentary on 10 of them. So these 10 are said to be the most important ones. The Ishopanishad, the Kane, the Katha, the Prashna, the Munda, the Mandukya, the Taitiriya, the Chandogya, the Aitareya, and the Bruhadaranya. These are the 10. He also quoted from some others. So naturally, these are also treated as important ones, like Kaushitki, Maitrayani, and Shvetashvatara. These are also treated as among the important, making a total number of 13, the major ones. Since people have their own preferences, the Upanishads have also been categorized in different ways. I'll mention some of these. The main, as I said, were 13 due to Shankaracharya. Then there are general ones describing everything. These are around 21. There are some specific ones that deal with yoga. These are 20. The ones that deal with sannyas are also 20. The ones with Vaishnava following are 14. The Shaiva following Upanishads are 12. And those associated with the Shakta are 8. Again, if you add all of these, you land up with that 108 number. As I told you, there are others also, but those are not treated as important as these ones. We must think of one more issue. The Upanishads are obviously later than the Vedas. Also, they are spread over a larger time span. Right from 8th century BC to around 16th or 17th century AD is where the Upanishads kept on being formed. But the major ones were of the earlier span. The Bruhadaranya and the Chandogya are among the oldest, 7th century to 6th century BC. The Aitareya, Taitiriya, Kaushitki are from the 5th or the 6th century BC. The Kane, Katha, Munda, Mandukya, and Prashna are another 500 years later. That means just around the BC time. Uh, There are some of them that are in prose form, the older ones naturally, the Brodharanyak, the Chandogya, the Taitiriya, the Aitareya, the Kaushitki. These are all more on prose side. Then there are those that are poetic, of high literary value in meter, and these are the Ish, the Ken, the Katha Upanishad, the Mund Upanishad. All these are more poetic in nature. Studying all of them may not be possible. So, what do? You follow the same order that Shankaracharya has said. Start with the first and continue down the line. Start with Isha, Ken, Katha, Prashna, Munda, Mandukya, Taitiriya, Chandogya, Aitareya, and the Brihadaranya. Uh, you can't finish everything. So you start, study as much as possible. And if you're intelligent enough, and if you finish all of these, and as you having started earlier, then you might as well continue and go to the remaining numbers, sequences. I will tell you sometime later. Uh, they all have a lot of concentrated information. All the Upanishads are life enriching, filled with major concepts. Each concept could be a life goal, each a path on its own for your whole life. I'll mention just two ideas today. Um, the Kane Upanishad has a statement. It says, truth lies below a gold lid. Remove the lid. Don't get mesmerized by the lid. Seek the ultimate truth. The lid is the Maya, the Satya, the truth is hidden below it. So don't get mesmerized with the lid, go for the truth. And let me be frank, today the idea of scientific thought is the same. Seek the truth. So the fundamental aspect of scientific thought today matches with the ideas put forward 4,000 years ago by these rishis. They are the same. They are equally important. There's one more. Um, the Ishopanishad, uh, the first one, it starts with a mantra. Many of you all must have heard of this. Ishavasyam idam sarvam. Instead of going through the whole thing, I'll give you the gist. Everything belongs to the Lord. It is His house. Everything is His. You are just a guest. You are just a traveler. You come, enjoy whatever it is. Nothing is yours. Don't covet anything. Leave it undisturbed as it is, because you have to pass away sometime or the other. Isn't this what we talk of as environmental conservation in present day context? Don't disturb anything. Leave it as it is. We talk of symbiosis, living together, peacefully adjusting to each other. That's the same thing. So all these ideas, as I said, have come long back. They haven't been practiced by many of us. These are ideals that are valid even today. They are bound to be valid even tomorrow and later on also. They have all raised the level of Indian philosophy par excellence. Take any single Upanishad and you'll come across many such beautiful concepts and ideas. Directly or indirectly, these have been used by all the religions of the subcontinent. Buddhism, Jainism, Sikhism, and many other panth that are there. Some have said the Vedas are not good, not right, but the ideas they have used are often from the Vedas themselves, rather from the Upanishads. So, the essence of Upanishads is understanding ultimate reality in its variety of forms, which I will talk of in days to come. This is just the beginning of Upanishads. We have so much to learn and gain from them, even today. I'll simplify things, make it as easy as possible, and move from simple to complex, covering up all the basic ideas as we proceed. It is said that if you follow or practice even one of the advices given in the Upanishads very sincerely throughout your whole life would be worthwhile. If you have liked all this information that I have passed on, please like and subscribe to this channel. Tell your friends who have a similar love for knowledge. And till we meet again, Namaskar.